We're at Stanford University, and we're by the church, and you can see Hoover Tower over in the background over there. Nice sunny day, about 70 degrees. Don't know what's going on today. And there's Angel Field, the track, and the tennis courts are over there. And past the tennis courts is Maples Pavilion. There's some other tennis courts, I think, on the right. Yep, they're still there. The main tennis courts are on the left. And here are the courts on the right. I wonder if I can squeeze through here. Benefits of having a motorcycle. And here's the tennis courts where I used to teach many years ago. Just to run around on this track a bit too. Pretty windy, not many, doesn't look like anyone's even hitting out here today. No one likes playing tennis in the wind. There's the track store over there. You can buy real expensive sweatshirts in there. On the right over there is the swimming pools are over there. Oh, and off in the distance is Stanford Stadium, where they have the football games. Gotta get out of here. Some work going on. Guess I might have to turn around. Can I get by? Let's see. Maybe not. Huh. Oh, I can go through. Huh. I don't know what he's doing. Just go through here. Baseball is over there. And here's Stanford Stadium. So plenty of exciting football games in there. Just used to watch John Elway play. And across the street over there, that's where people do tailgating and parking. And I remember that when the Grateful Dead played here, and people had tents out there and buses and all sorts of things. All sorts of deadheads camped out over there. Anyway, there's a mini tour of Stanford, and let me see. We got Town and Country Village on the left. Palo Alto High School is on the right. Which way am I going to go? Should we go straight or right? I think I might go straight. Palo Alto High School. My entire family went there, except me. My grandmother, probably my granduncle too, my mom, my dad, both of my aunts, and my uncle all went to Pali. I went to Menlo Atherton. So today we're just going to cruise around Palo Alto and Menlo Park maybe a little bit. Not as exciting as cruising around slums, but you know, maybe it'll be interesting. So here's Palo Alto High School. It has been around for a long time. Some of the buildings still look kind of old, but I know they've probably retrofitted, upgraded them, or replaced some of them. It's supposed to be a very good high school. And the nickname is Pali. And if we didn't move to San Jose, stayed in Palo Alto, my daughter would have gone. There's Town and Country. Still looks pretty much the same after decades. Oh shit, they're going. Alright. I think I will turn right here. Going to my family's old neighborhood. Old block. We're gonna just people don't even look, man. Just kind of walk across the street like that. And this was our old place here. Houses were knocked down and replaced, but my granduncle's old house is still there. The house to the right of that, my great-grandfather's, that was basically rebuilt. Property really went up here. I mean, every house is like, it seems like $2 to $6 million per house, minimum $2 million, probably 3 to 6 is more like it. Churchill. Alright, we're at Churchill. And then there's Palo Alto High School across the train tracks. And Palo Alto police around me. I don't know what the speed limit is around here. I'll let these guys go. And we're heading into downtown Palo Alto up ahead. The university is the main street. University Avenue. Well, that hardware store's been there forever. I forget, it might have been, maybe it was an Ace Hardware before. can catch the train on the left, head up to the city on the train. A writer named Guy Wright used to live next to us, and would catch the train to the city to work for, I think the Chronicle, I believe. Not the Examiner, I think the Chronicle. I think I will go on University Avenue. Just see what's new. It's kind of crowded. Okay. Well, what are you doing? I think I'll just go this way. Maybe I can get in front of these guys. Because I'm on a motorcycle. One nice thing about being on a motorcycle. Okay, let's see what's new around here. It's been a few years since I've been here. A lot of people out and about. I'm gonna lift my visor up. Downtown Palo Alto. I used to like a place on the left that used to be called Pudley's. That's long gone. You'd get a big burger, fries, and like a 24-ounce beer for a few bucks. On the right, I remember when I was a kid, there was a place called Liticoats that had a whole bunch of different eateries in it, and that's long gone. Okay, people, just go around. Actually, I think, I don't know if Pudley's used to be on the left. Maybe it's where that pho place is. On the right is New Varsity. They used to have a lot of punk bands in there. So the Varsity Theater used to have the Dead Kennedys and Black Flag and a whole bunch of other punk bands play there. That was like in the 80s, late 80s, or mid 80s to early 90s. There used to be a store on the right called Comics and Comics that was cool. I think that's long gone. My stepbrother used to have a paper route here in high school where he'd have a cart and go up and down the block to give the local newspaper to everybody. And then one day it was super windy, and we went by this building on the left, and the wind sucked all his newspapers out of his cart, and they went floating all the way up in the air to the very top story of the building. All these papers just floating around. People started yelling at us like it was our fault. And anyway, that's downtown Palo Alto. gonna head into Menlo Park now. I felt like that car just wanted to run me over. Like, if you don't speed up, I'm gonna run you over. Why do people drive like that sometimes? And those people do that when you put your signal on to turn into a parking lot or something. They're behind you a ways, and you see them like speed up and gun it for some reason. Like, if that person doesn't get into that parking lot in time, I'm gonna smash into them. Very odd. They don't just go the normal speed or slow down, they actually speed up. Like they don't like you turning or something. Anyway, enough complaining. We're on Middlefield Road, and we're heading into Menlo Park from Palo Alto. There's a little creek on the right that's sort of like the divider between Palo Alto and Menlo Park. And we are headed north. This is the direction we're going in. And I think I'm just going to keep going on Middlefield Road. And there is a St. Patrick's Seminary is going to be up on the right, so I will show you that. I don't think I'm going to lane filter here. I think I'll just hang back. Willow Road, if you take that, it goes into East Menlo Park. You can also go across the bay if you take Willow Road. Now I wish I did get up there. Could have got between those two cars. St. Patrick's Seminary is on the right. U.S. Geological Survey is or was on the left. Yeah, that might have been it in the past. Maybe they moved. And coming up to my high school here, Menlo Atherton High School. And I bet it probably looks a lot different than when I went here. Why are there so many cars in there? I guess there's a graduation or something. The tennis courts are totally different. They're red. They look nice though. No more backboard. And they used to have a backboard, and I'd be out there hitting on that backboard all the time until my arm was going to fall off. They used to have a football coach here named Ben Parks. Used to practice soccer on that field over there. Ben Parks was the football coach, but he was also the strength trainer for some 49ers like Ronnie Lott and Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice lived here in Atherton, and so did Joe Montana. I wound up in a football practice with Coach Parks by accident one time. I was a tennis player. I was on the tennis team. And I had a PE class towards the end of the day. And next thing I know, I'm lining up and I'm doing pass drills. I'm running and doing wide receiver drills. And I'm catching the ball and getting back in line. And some kid goes, "Hey, so, you trying out for the football team?" I go, "No." "Why?" He said, "Well, this is football practice." Didn't even know I was in football practice. Let's see what this place looks like. The building, wow, these buildings are totally modern now. Arts Center, that's different. Alright, so the last time I drove through here was 1985. Get on the tennis courts a couple times since then. Not come through here. These hallways look the same. I remember I had a U.S. history class in here with, someone who was in Melrose Place. What was her name? Forget her name. Blonde hair. She was part of the cast on Melrose Place. She was in my this history class. And there are different little cliques of kids here, and this tree right here, this area was basically called the smoker's tree. Then you have the jocks, and then sort of the punks, and then you have the wood shop kids. Probably drive by Joe Montana or Jerry Rice's house by accident, not even know it. I don't even know if they still have a house really. Bill Walsh used to live in Atherton, but I think he lived on Selby Lane or by Selby Lane. My former stepbrother, really. Used to babysit for Bill Walsh. I haven't been in here in a million years. This is Atherton. I used to read the police blotters for Atherton, and it's a very wealthy neighborhood, probably not too many cops, but an old lady reported that she looked down her driveway, and at the very end of the driveway, sitting there, was a white cat that looked very suspicious. And that was called into the police to investigate, which I thought was pretty funny. I remember when I was a senior in high school, I had a old green VW Bug. I think I got pulled over just for driving a VW Bug in here. It just didn't look, it looked out of place, I guess, to the cop. It's like, "Where are you going? Who are you and where are you going?" So this is Atherton. So Menlo Park is on the border of Atherton, and Menlo Park's on the border of Palo Alto. But this is kind of the heart of Atherton. And then I used to live in Menlo Park. When I went here, oh, that's a big place. everything is here. Probably $6 million homes, I guess. Maybe more. And we're back to that road we were on earlier. This is Ringwood. I'm going to turn left and go to where I lived when I went to Menlo Atherton High School. So turn left on Bay Road, and you'll see there's a wall that kind of separates Atherton from Menlo Park. Wall or fences, it's just not quite there. This is Flood Park on the right, and then everything on the left side of the fence and the wall on the left is Atherton. I used to live right by this, kind of by this park. What's funny is I never went to this park once. The entire 3.5 years I went to Menlo Atherton High School. So my freshman year, I came down from Petaluma. I went to Petaluma High School just for a semester. I used to live in here somewhere. It had some family members from my former stepbrother's side. So I used to live on this street. Let me go in here. I mean, this was ages ago. We're talking in the 80s. And I bet you can't Google that and even find that now. Such a long time ago. And there is a sheep statue on their lawn. Well, when I lived in Petaluma, we'd see sheep on the lawn. Where was it? I think that was the house right there. Looks a little different around here. Nice doggy. Nice Doge, as my daughter would say. Okay, so we're... Greenwood is where stepbrother's relatives were. Greenwood? Yeah, this was it. Greenwood. Some of the houses different. That was a house. This house right in front of me where we used to hang out. No one I know lives there now. We had some friends that lived maybe in that house. I don't know if it's that one. I don't know. Talking ages, decades ago. It's kind of hard to remember exactly. And this is Menlo Park. This is not, again, this is Menlo Park, not Atherton. It's still with the, and the prices of cost of real estate. These houses are all very expensive too. I mean, our cheap house that we have in San Jose, that we would consider to be cheap, is like between $1,600,000 and $1,800,000 right now. I can only imagine what the houses are like up around here. Church there. Alright, so I'm going to head out of Menlo Park now, and I'm going to head over to Redwood City. Now this is Bay Road. I used to live in Redwood City, actually back the other way, too. So I lived in two places in Redwood City. Actually, the place behind me, a different place back behind me, it's kind of borderline Redwood City, Menlo Park, so I'm not sure. I thought it was Redwood City, but my mom says it was Menlo Park, too. But where we're heading to, I'm going to head through another part of Atherton and then into Redwood City. There's to the left, down a few blocks, there's a middle school I went to just for 1 year called Ensenal. I moved around a lot, so I was down here for 1 year of middle school and then 3.5 years of high school, but I also lived up in Petaluma a bit for part of elementary school. And there's another cop there. Atherton cop. So good thing I wasn't driving an old beat up VW Bug, because I might get pulled over for that. Anyway, this is Atherton. You can tell by these walls this is Atherton here. Anyway, we're going to head up to Redwood City, and I think Redwood City is just up by the light up there, and you can kind of see there's like a drastic change in how things look when we get up there. I think I'm going to turn left. I'm going to head over to El Camino, and see if I can get through this light. Okay. Well, that's all Redwood City. I think this is all Redwood City in here. Just cruising around, places I've been. It's always interesting to kind of go back to where you've been, where you lived, and just kind of check things out and see what's changed over the years. You could probably just use Google Earth or something and do that too, but it's not quite the same. And that light up there is El Camino. There used to be a massage place there. or here, somewhere. And I think it was the place that, I don't know, Jerry Rice got busted at. I'm going to turn left. I think I'm going to go left and I'll do a U-turn actually. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Selby Lane. So now Atherton city limit. Briefly, we're in Redwood City back there. And is this Selby Lane? I think this is Selby Lane. Yep, Selby Lane. So I believe Bill Walsh lived on this street, or around this street. Actually, I had friends from high school that lived down in here. So let's see what their old house looks like. But they have not seen their old house in many years. It was the house on the right. And that one's kind of looks different. Okay. Turn around. House right there. Yeah, it looks like, I don't know if anyone lives there. Looks like that guy is there to work on the house. It looks a little unkempt. So maybe someone's doesn't live there and they're planning on selling it. And going down Selby Lane. I knew a kid in high school who was a son of a guy who owned a construction company, and the house he lived off was down here, and he had an elevator inside his house. And then I think he had another like house or mini cottage or something behind it. Now we're heading into Redwood City from here, and it's like night and day. You got, I mean, multi-million-dollar homes in Atherton, and then Redwood City is not the same. Let's put it that way. I used to live in a little duplex in here. I went to some really crappy elementary school. Well, we'll get to that. Briefly had to use a different address to go to the middle school over in Atherton because it was just too crappy over here. Alright, stop. So yeah, I used to live over in this area. I used to belong to a tennis club in San Carlos, and I would ride my bike from here all the way to San Carlos to that club. And that is not too safe, riding a bicycle all that way in traffic. Anyway, where did I live? It was on the left, maybe the duplex on the back over there. And this is Redwood City. There's a kid that lived on this street that also went to Encinal Middle School. I think his family moved over there. I was just in this duplex for maybe 1 year, or maybe yeah, I lived there twice. Kind of moved away and then came back. Moved up to Petaluma. So I'm gonna go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the path I took when I'd ride my bike all the way to San Carlos. All right, I'm gonna move up a little bit. So yeah, I would have a backpack and a tennis racket sticking out of my backpack, and I would ride a 10-speed from here, Redwood City, all the way up this road to San Carlos to go to a club called Bayside. I think it was called Bayside Tennis Club, and I was really good at asteroids. I remember I played asteroids in some guy's restaurant over back there on the right. I was so good back then in 8th grade. I was one of the best players in the world. I could actually put a quarter in a machine and not lose, literally. I could have been in the Guinness Book of World Records. The longest I played was 3.5 hours straight, and I had like 50 extra ships. You get an extra ship every 10,000 points. The highest score on asteroids is 100,000, and it's called flipping it when you go past 100,000, because then it goes back to zero. And I did that, I think, 16 times. Had 50 ships and then just quit. So if I didn't have to eat or sleep or whatever, I could probably just play forever. And I don't know. I don't think it's worth staying up for 2 days to get into the Book of World Records. Probably not good for your health. What are you doing? Let's go. I think that messed up my wrist, though. Probably got carpal tunnel syndrome. Playing asteroids. I was playing tennis at the same time. Not a good combination. So I would still be riding my bike like I'm riding my motorcycle right now. But let me see. I don't know what this person is doing. Do you want to go left? Do you want to go right? Do you want to go straight? Let's see if I can remember how to get to that old tennis club. So Bayside Tennis Club in San Carlos was introduced to me by my uncle. He used to play tennis a little bit when I was growing up. And that club had something like 20 indoor courts and a bunch of outdoor courts. And we're talking like on a late 70s. So whenever John McEnroe went to Stanford, that's when Bayside had all those courts, and John McEnroe used to go practice there instead of at Stanford, especially when it was raining, because they had indoor courts. And I knew the pro that used to teach there when I was there later, in my later high school years. He told me stories about that. Jefferson Avenue. I wonder if that was it. I think I was supposed to turn right on Jefferson. I don't know. I think I'm gonna turn around. Let me just turn and go back there. Anyway, John McEnroe used to practice at Bayside. We're gonna try and find that place. And he used to practice there. And some of the old fuddy-duddy members started to complain about this college kid using up their courts, basically. Like, why is this guy in here using up our courts all the time, and blah, blah, blah. And one day, this is the story I heard, that some of these members started sort of yelling at John McEnroe, and basically said the same thing. Like, why are you hogging up our courts? Blah, blah, blah. And then I think John didn't take kindly to that. He said something to the effect, I am the greatest tennis player in the world. You should pay to watch me practice here. And, you know, it's funny, in a way, he was right. So I thought that was pretty funny. But that club, it was a big scene back then, because they had so many courts. They had a bar, restaurant, and 49ers like Dwight Clark. I don't know if Jerry Rice or others played there too, but I heard Dwight Clark played there. And it was sort of like the social scene, from what I heard. And this is before I played there, so people would just drop in just to go to the bar and restaurant, and then just sort of hang out, and then just maybe see who'd be available to play. And anyway, that club started to kind of fizzle out. They had some, you know, ownership issues, and the owner just was kind of greedy, from what I understand, and wanted to basically just make a profit somehow, and didn't care about the club. So what happened was they got rid of like more than half of the courts, so all they had left was 6 indoor courts and maybe 4 outdoor courts. And I think I was a junior in high school when I started to play there, and mainly just played on the indoor courts. Okay, people, what the hell? Alright, guess that was a left turn only back there. Didn't know that. Oh well, Broadway. I think I'm going to turn... No, can't turn right there. What the hell? Okay. I am a little bit lost. We're in Redwood City. Look at all the bikes. Ooh. Out having fun, riding their bikes on the right. It's probably right on the right, like where Ross is. back into Menlo Park, and we're getting on Willow Road. Used to be some tennis courts on the left somewhere I used to play on a little bit with one of the coaches from MA. I think it was Mr. Williams and Mr. Schneider. Oh, there are the courts on the left. Way to go. Don't cross there. Maybe looks like she went across the street. That's a bad spot. Not even a crosswalk there. Alright, we're heading back into Palo Alto. Maybe I'll take another ride down University Avenue the other way. Go up El Camino. And then I think I gotta hit a Starbucks or something and take a break. A pit stop. And stretch my legs out. And that's University up there. I should go eat a burger at the Peninsula Creamery. Peninsula Creamery is basically the same as it was from like 1970. I think it's changed ownership a few times and they've changed the name slightly, but it still basically looks the same. And there's that tall building where my stepbrother's high school paper route, all the newspapers went all the way up to that top floor, all of them, everything, half of his basket to be delivered downtown were flying up in the air. And then we couldn't even get the newspapers because they were just stuck up in the air. Okay. This is no ghetto tour. It's more like a rich snobbery tour. Palo Alto has really changed over the years. Ever since the yuppies took over, it's changed. I used to walk around here back in 1970 when I was 4. Go around those cars. So when the Grateful Dead were here, they used to hang out at a park to the right somewhere. My dad loaned, I think, Bob Weir his motorcycle for a while. Bob Weir goes, "Hey, can I ride your motorcycle?" And my dad's like, "Sure, go ahead." And then Weir took off with it and came back like an hour and a half later. They used to give the free concerts in a little park a block over on the right somewhere back then. Pigpen, the keyboard player, was good friends with my dad in high school, at Palo Alto High School. And I think Jerry Garcia used to, he gave my aunt guitar lessons, and I think he gave other people lessons downtown here. Yeah. Nothing really looks the same. That brick shop on the right looks the same. Maybe they closed down. That used to be a flower shop for many years. Maybe they went out of business. Stanford Theater, they still show old black and white movies in there. And Palo Alto Medical Foundation is on the left, and we got it's all Stanford property on the right. All Stanford on the right. Palo Alto High School. Tennis courts on the left. We have a car with license plate Panda 1. I'm wondering, does that mean they like to eat at Panda Express? Maybe they're big fans of Panda Express. Let's see if Starbucks is open. Last time I came by here and they were closed for some reason. They ran out of water or some weird excuse. No water. That was weird. Blew me over with a foot. I think I'm going to take Foothill Expressway. $3.52 to fill up a motorcycle. Wow.